Welcome to the Lords of Loud. We're four music fans from Australia who've turned our old email debates into this podcast. I'm Lord Ben, and if we were the Beatles, I'd obviously be the smart one, but modest too. With me as always is Lord Brett, the funny one, only because we've seen him dance, Lord Kev, the quiet one, because he can't clip on a mic, and Lord Al, the cute one, with the perfect face for any podcast.
Lords of Loud.
And welcome back to the Lords of Loud. And thanks again for joining us on another exciting episode. We're all pumped, aren't we? Woo, folks, come on.
I'm just happy to be here.
Happy to be still alive.
Yeah.
All right.
You started off quite, mainstream DJ there. Hey, welcome back to the Lords of Loud.
Working on that.
We got DJ.
Let's go Casey Code.
Hey, welcome back to K105.
Stacks and wax and tracks.
That's it. So,
Wax and cracks.
tonight's episode is we're talking about sort of our favourite or the best or however you want to approach it. This is solos and sides. So this is, people who, Oh, no.
Sorry.
We've had a casualty.
I'm just corpsed.
All right, we'll keep going. So this is solos and sides. So this is your favourite or your best or whatever you want to approach it. People who have left bands and had successful solo careers or have done side projects which have been either interesting or successful or however you want to sort of rate it. But of course, first thing we have to do is the important segment, and that is Album of the Week. And this week I've actually got an album I've been listening to, and that is Art of Fighting's new album, which is Lunar Low, and it's only their fourth studio album. For those who have listened to the podcast before, and in particular the
Top 10
Aussie songs, they were at number one, and that was with a track off their first album in 2002. So in those 17 years, they've only released four albums. They're all very good albums. I'd encourage anyone to go back and listen to the other three, but this one is also, if you like those others, this is a continuation for them. Not really breaking any new territory on this one, but just more of the same. Beautiful melodies, some lovely lyrics, great performances on this. Go out.
So do you know why only four? Do they have side projects?
Slackers.
They do. Ollie Brown, the lead singer and main sort of songwriter?
Yeah.
He does a few little side things. Yeah. I think it's more that they just haven't been a band that's achieved that sort of commercial level of success. So it's more of a, when we get around to it type of, when we've got enough songs together and then can, I guess, get the funds together to get an album out, that type of deal.
Yeah.
But really, it's a shame because they are really one of the best Australian bands of the last 20 years or so. So, so go out and check that one out.
Sometimes I see the moonstruck madness in your eyes. I know if you get loaded, you capsize. I know it feels like rivers on the rise.
And of course, we have a sponsor this episode.
Who is it, Ben?
So we're very lucky this episode. We've got the album that sponsors this episode is Warren Carr Plays Twin Honky Tonk Pianos.
Oh, wow.
So not content with a single
right.
honky tonk piano.
How does he play two at once?
He actually plays two at once.
Wow.
Well, it's a trade secret apparently, and this album, I mean, seriously, talk about your value for money. This has got 20 tracks packed onto it.
It's going to be useful.
In fact, they're great party favourites.
Yeah.
TV special.
It's party favourites. We've got like Happy Birthday Sweet 16 on here. We've got the Black and White Rag.
Oh, the Entertainer.
Entertainer, of course. Oh, he butchers Yellow Submarine on here as well.
Choo Choo.
Alley Cat. With twin honky tonks.
I tell you what.
How good would that be?
That's an album that you take in the bunker.
It's a bunker album.
Right in the bunker.
Oh, the Chattanooga Choo Choo on there as well.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Wow. So that's
Pardon me, soft.
So that's on the old Endeavour label.
That's right. That well-known.
Now, is there a date on there?
Where are they off again? Where are they coming
The
from?
Endeavour. One of the
Wow.
great Australian. No, I don't even know if they're Australian. Who knows where they are?
Okay.
One of the great labels.
Looking for a 1980.
Ah,
What a great year for twin honky
twin honky tonk.
It never really got any better, did it?
No,
After 80.
not twin.
Yeah.
I think they tried
No one ever
three.
did twin.
They tried three at one point,
Yeah.
but it just couldn't. They couldn't get it working.
But
It's too noisy.
Too much.
but let's give a shout out to the backing band, right? In particular, Merv on bass. Hey?
Yep.
Good old
Just
Merv.
Merv.
Straight from the pub.
Well, there's drums and bass. That's
all you need.
And your twin piano.
But honestly, that's all you need when you got
Yeah.
twin honky tonk.
You don't
Yeah.
want to clutter
You
it
don't
up.
want to
hear
mess
anything
You
above
don't want to muddy up the
God.
sound. You don't want to muddy the sound of the
No,
honky tonk.
that's right.
And we'll put up a photo on
course we will.
Instagram.
Absolutely.
Al won't have a look at it. And so a shout out to the cover design from Sheedy and Reed and photography, because I mean honestly, it's
Right.
it's the most beautiful.
The way they've captured the twin keys on the front is impressive.
There's some early Photoshop happening there, I'm going to
Yeah.
say.
I don't think so.
No,
So,
I think
so
he's,
early it
I think
looks
he's
like...
got four arms.
Okay, right.
4 arms and 2 curved pianos.
That explains it.
and some liver spots as well on his hands. So we didn't touch them up. What's really interesting though, speaking to some of the editors in the room, is there's some really dodgy spacing in that.
That is interesting.
You know, we've got some extra spaces.
We
in
could probably
there.
do a whole
Shame.
segment just on typesetting. And
That's right. And let's do it. Let's do it
That
now.
would be
Matter of fact.
fascinating in a podcast.
let's cancel our regular broadcast and let's talk about typesetting.
Let's get the typesetting.
Yes, anyway, do yourself a favour. I think you'll find Endeavour Records. Yeah, here we go. 28 Cross Street, Brookvale,
Right.
New South Wales. So everyone get down there, knock on the door.
The home of honky tonk, isn't it?
No, the home
Well,
of
it
twin
is the home,
honky tonk.
yeah.
See if they've still got a few thousand copies left.
Yep,
right.
just knock on the door anyway.
The entire building's
And
made
ask
out
for
of
a
this
copy
album. It's just-
of Warren Carr Plays Twin Honky Tonk Pianos.
Will do.
And
Another classic.
tell them the Lord sent you.
Tell them,
Yes.
tell them the Lord sent you.
That's right.
They might give you a discount.
All right, so what are we getting into tonight, Ben?
So this is solos and sides. So who wants to kick us off with a solo or a side project that they thought was particularly interesting or
Well, it's interesting.
or successful? Or,
It is interesting, and I like how you're suggesting that it might be that solo project that after you've left the band, or the side project while you're in the band.
Yep. And I tried to stay away from the obvious, So for those people will be devastated that I'm not going to mention Paul McCartney tonight.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
and the same thing. The two things that would come to my mind: Lennon's Plastic Ono Band,
Yeah.
George Harrison, All Things Must
So I'm going to
Pass.
stay away from sort
What about
of
Ringo?
fairly obvious ones to the most
Thomas
part.
the Tank Engine album.
So here's my semi-obvious one: Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
An old raincoat, whatever let you down. 1969. And this was his side project, although people would suggest that
Start of his solo career.
he started his solo career. So he's in the Faces.
He's in the Faces, okay.
And,
for people below 45.
Boy, 65.
Nice.
Can't
So
rip on the faces here.
we're doing ageism as well. And of course, this one, this album for me,
Orgasms.
Handbags and Glad Rags is a classic.
Classic.
Ever seen a young girl growing old, trying to make herself look blind? So what becomes of you, my love, when they have finally stripped you of the handbags and the glad rags that your granddad had to sweat so you could buy?
Classic.
Absolutely.
So that's my first one.
So you're right in the pocket. I'm going
Dickheads.
to go straight into my pocket with
Straight in your pocket.
the Pixies, whose offshoot band The Breeders were arguably more successful. But the offshoot of the offshoot, are you with me?
Oh,
wow.
Is Kim Deal's wonderful punk outfit, the Amps. who released an album called Pacer and Faded Away. Burn Brightly and Faded Away has to. It was a great little album, and she just was in the prime. I mean, she's just in the Pixies, she's in the Breeders, just knocks us off the side. I think they put out maybe 2 or 3 albums, but just the sheer talent she had to be able to just put, tunes together and put records out at that time. Yeah, the Amps. Do yourself a favour. Check him out.
Go out and check
Check 'em
them
out.
Yeah, check out Bragging Party.
Brilliant.
Can't beat it with a stick.
I had, sorry, Al, did you?
No, Lord Ben.
Yeah, thank you, Lord Ben. I had the side project that Daniel Johns from Silverchair and Paul Mack from Itchy and Scratchy Bit,
Yes.
the Dissociatives.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. Really,
Yeah,
some great
yeah.
sort of, it's like electronic / pop sounds. Really, a while back I played or mentioned an album by the Broken Bells, which was by the lead singer of Shins and that. But this is I guess it's in that similar vein. This is sort of a real poppy electronica sort of, obviously with Paul Mack influence and things like that. So yeah, great album. If there's people out there who haven't heard of it, or especially overseas visitors.
I was going to say, it charted really well, didn't it?
Yeah, in Australia they had a couple of singles.
Yeah, had a real good breakthrough.
But yeah, it probably didn't get much play outside of Australia. So yeah, go check that out.
Are they still going?
No, they just did the one because originally they did that Can't Believe It's Not Butter EP. Sorry, Can't Believe It's Not Butter. Can't Believe It's Not Rock.
I don't think I had no idea what it was called, so it could have been called that.
Yeah, they did like a little.
That's unusual, but there we go.
And then a couple of years later, decided they'd make it into a sort of a full project and did the Dissociatives. It's almost it's a band that a partnership that I'd love them to come back and do another album or two. But love that album.
I must go big and fast. Lies the whole institute. Walking through pages straight and scarecrows swell on a night. Now I've got better move more hands for feeding my enemies.
Well, I've got one, and I've only got one. But
It's the one.
it's the one.
It's an impressive one.
It's impressive to me. Okay, so
You've only got one.
yeah.
That's what she said.
So Mike Patton is a singer for Faith No More.
Yes.
So he's also done a whole bunch of other stuff. But one of his first things was another band called Mr. Bungle.
And unfortunately, you've graced us several times with tracks from Mr. Bungle.
No, I think I've only done it once.
Twice.
And that was in a lost episode.
Twice.
Yeah, there's a few in
What was the
there.
other one?
There's been
Wasn't
a
there
few
a
in
closet
there.
one? Or did we lose that one?
I think we lost that one.
Sure.
I think that was the first one.
Fans,
So anyway.
Our fans are disappointed.
They should be. Because, Mike started in Mr. Bungle. This is a North California band. Made up a bunch of music geeks and nerds generally. I think the guitarist ended up ordering a Devo red, hat.
Yeah, flower pot hat, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he and another friend, rocked up to high school in them. And got seriously bashed for wearing them, which inspired them to, pursue music. Anyway, so Mike was in this band, Mr. Bungle. They did a few EPs. If they had kept on as they were, they probably would never have ever scored a well, not a major, but any record deal with a major label. However, at one point, Faith No More were playing. They had a different singer at that stage. One thing led to another, and Mike Patton got invited to sing for Faith No More. So they became hugely successful. So that was 90, around about then. That Faith No More did their debut, which then meant that Mike could take Mr. Bungle with him on this crazy ride, and they also got signed.
Oh, okay. So he was in 2 bands at that point.
He was, and so Faith No More was really the side project for him, starting with Mr. Bungle.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
So I didn't know that. I don't know. Yeah, I just assumed that
Yeah. So
Faith No More was his main project, and
Yeah. I mean, it very quickly became his main project.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And Mr. Bungle was interesting curiosity. So they did 3 albums. One was soon after they got the deal, and Faith No More was still fresh in people's minds. And then they did another couple, but they did like Mr. Bungle started off as just speed/death metal. In the 80s, and then they added some ska,
As you would.
and then some jazz, and then some funk.
Well, then it really got that Zappa-esque sort of thing. They just started to throw all kinds of stuff in there.
It got pretty crazy. And so their first album was very much very metal, but with these other influences. And then their other 2 albums started becoming much more just
diverse.
Some of it was like soundtrack. There was I can't list all the genres people have. It's just this amazing variety. And so the thing that it did for Mike as a singer was it gave him the opportunity to do a whole bunch of different styles.
Yeah.
He did different languages. So once he kind of finished with Faith No More, as it was wrapping up, he started his own record label. And so he's done other bands which are a little more cultish, I guess, like Tomahawk and Phantomas and Peeping Tom, and he's done soundtracks. He's
got to be one of the more prolific sort of guys out there, like musicians out there.
Absolutely.
And just keeps, you look at people like Jack White, like he's got a couple of quite a few sort of side things on the go. But someone like Mike Patton's just got bloody million projects.
It's like it's just bursting with so much stuff that he needs all these different.
Still,
and I mean, he's the album that I was playing earlier was Italian pop songs from the 50s and 60s.
Wow.
So he can sing it all in Italian, and he learned it as an adult, and he's gone on tour with this orchestra playing this stuff, but then he'll turn around and he did speaking of zombies recently, he did all the zombie effects and weird shitty noises on I Am Legend with Will Smith. So he's just phenomenal. So he's got so many side projects, but the one that I know best of all is Mr. Bungle.
Sure.
If Faith No More is seen as his main one.
It's almost like he's a side project artist.
And if you swap it, it's
Specialist.
even more amazing when you look at Mr. Bungle and Faith No More as a side project.
If that's the side.
Well done, dude.
You've done all right. All right, Kev, do you have something?
I go with Electronic, who again back in the late 80s, early 90s, I think they popped up, and this was at the end of 2 Manchester supergroups. You had Johnny Marr swinging free, and you had Bernard Summer from New Order running free, and they started to put out dance music together, poppy dance tracks, and for both of them you could sense this relief and release from their constraint of supergroup experiences, and it was just a light, airy, breezy sound. It was very free you know, and that's the feeling you got off it. And anyone who was a fan of those bands was excited to see what they would do together, and it sort of it lived up to those expectations, you know, and became a nice moment in time.
Mirror, it makes me feel so worthless. I'm an original sinner, but when I'm with you, I couldn't care less. I've been getting away with it all my life. Getting away with it all my life. Getting away.
And of course, New Order, famously a offshoot of
Yeah.
Joy Division, and
Yeah.
Johnny Marr is an interesting guy because he became that journeyman guitarist where he went off and
did lots of little
small
projects
bands
with
and
it.
so on, but
Yeah.
he sat in with Modest Mouse for a while, and you know, and he's done solo stuff, and it's always been worthwhile and interesting to listen to, and you know, but that was the start of his, you know, ongoing. He didn't just go into a studio and hide himself away or anything like that. He was prepared to be out there in the world, and and the world's a better place for it. And that was the first step on that wee journey. So that's that little story.
There you go. So I have a tale of two cities. So two guys from the same band, and for me, one that, you know, both had side projects. One was good, one was bad, and it's Keith Richards doing, and the Expensive Winos doing "Talk Is Cheap," which is a great album, and then Jagger going out and doing his album, which can't remember what it's called anymore.
No, nobody can.
And no one cared.
No.
No one absolutely cared.
Surprisingly, yeah.
Yeah, it was just terrible. And
So when was this?
Early 80s.
would have been
Or was it
80.
very late 70s? Let me have a quick look here.
88 was Richards. Talk Is Cheap was his first one, and probably similar around the time for Jagger. But yeah, it's so interesting that Richard just goes out and I don't know, it's just got a bit more feel to it. And Jagger, Mick was
It's
just
one of those
trying
things
to
where you've got such a charismatic frontman, one of the great frontmans of all time. You'd think with, you know, some good writers behind him, it would be a no-brainer that he could go out and have a solo career, you know.
Yeah.
But I guess you think about it in the context, like Freddie Mercury is the same.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Again, one of the great frontmen of all time.
Yeah.
We've talked about that last season, but tried to have a solo career, couldn't crack it. Like, what is it about that's, you know, you'd think that, you know, for most people, they are the band. Like, you know, a lot of people feel like they're the front person, they're out there, they're the band. How do they not be able to go on and at least have a couple of hits or something, or a couple of singles, whatever?
Because Richards even followed up with Main Offender, his third album, which was released much later.
Yeah, so She's the Boss was his first solo.
Boss, yeah.
Terrible album.
terrible.
Actually, unsurprisingly, I've got it on LP. 1985.
Three copies.
Yeah.
So that's much later than I thought. I thought it was much earlier than that.
Yeah,
Anyway,
because that was in the time
Totally
of their
forgettable.
feuding. When Richard was trying to get the band together and Jagger wanted to go and do his own thing. So after a while, I think Richards got shitted off and just went and did his own thing. And again, it was, like I said, successful for 2 albums.
Yep.
But yeah, you sort of think, wow, that's a bit of a kick in the,
funny,
in
isn't
the
it?
ego for Mick Jagger.
There's probably another, and don't want to get too deep into it this episode, but there's probably a whole another, you know, episode on doing, because you look at, like that, you would think of all the bands. You know, you'd name the top 3 most famous bands of all time. Stones would be there. How does someone like Jagger not be able to go out and have a solo career?
Yeah.
You had like Don Henley from the Eagles was able to go off and have a successful solo career. Even Glenn Fry had a couple of hits. You know.
Yeah.
It might even just be that people just saw them so much as a band, you know. I mean, Queen especially, you know,
I think
they were a
it's worth probably delving into that a little bit
sort
further.
of cartoonish, you know, unit where you just wanted them all together, like the Amigos. You break it apart, well, the fans aren't really behind it because they want the band to
They
be
want the whole
together,
thing.
you know.
I think I find that fascinating. It'd be good to explore it further.
So failed solo project.
Yeah,
Another
absolutely.
topic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, that's just Alan's life.
He's had some failed teamwork stuff as well.
Don't fence me.
Just a failure already.
It's all rounder. Yeah. That's right.
Nice. I'm going to give a shout out to someone who you wouldn't necessarily think of, as a solo artist, and that's from Radiohead. Now, obviously, people think of Tom York. He's gone off and done a couple of solo albums. Johnny Greenwood's gone off and done soundtracks and other work. But Phil Selway has actually released 2 solo albums, and his second solo album in particular, Weatherhouse, is a excellent album. And I'd encourage people to go out and listen to that.
So what does Phil play for those?
It's a drum. Does he still play drums?
Yeah, but he plays drums, but I think he actually plays some guitar on this as well, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, great. It's just a lovely album. Just a nice, it's nothing, it's not rocky, it's just a nice sort of almost a folky pop sort of thing he's got going on, and yeah, nice album.
We've been round this all before, nothing has changed. Well, I know what you do, and I know what's funny now will bother me soon. If there was a better life, I know you'd be shying away.
Because it's interesting too, isn't it? As these bands get big and they, and what tends to happen is they need to focus on other things between albums. Because you talk about Johnny Marr, both Johnny Marr and Phil went touring with Neil Finn for a while.
Yeah.
And did, and working on his
And like
sort of
Radiohead had
stuff.
notoriously long gaps between albums, so
You got to do something.
you got to do something. Yeah, that's right.
I've got one more for you, and it's I'm not going to be able to remember his name now. Basically, the guy Rocky. I'm calling him Rocky because that's his first name. I can't remember his second. But his main project is Wooden Ships, and they're this psychedelic group, and he does fantastic groovy psychedelic rock. And his offshoot project is called Moonview, and it's groovy psychedelic rock. But it's just 2 of them. Guess what? Instead of a band, it's just the 2.
It's like Twin Honky Tonk.
So it's kind of like
yes.
it's not really a side project because it's just the same type of music. I mean, there's something about that kind of drone-ish, trancey kind of music which just goes on and on. You love that groove or you don't, and I happen to.
Yeah.
So you're just delighted because there's another band in the world that just sounds the same kind of thing, with a slightly different instrumental kind of twist to it. But the funny thing about this, one of the reasons I was reminded of it, because Heidi and I are actually going to go and see them next week. And all that's happened with these guys is they're very small compared to Wooden Ships. So when they come, you see them in much smaller venues. No, I'm not saying nobody knows that they're the same guy, but it's out of sheer coincidence, Heidi and I have been to see them twice already.
Yeah.
And because we saw them first time, we liked it, so let's do it again. And now that they're back in Brisbane again, we're like, well, we have to go. They're a band, they'll be expecting us,
Come for us.
yeah. And the other nice thing is that it's him and his wife or girlfriend, I think. And so it's kind of like they're a wee gang, and you're like, oh, there you go.
Maybe his wife's in the other band, and this is his girlfriend's.
No, it's all lads in the other band, so I don't know. Maybe, could be married to one of them. Don't know. But that, they're a great twist on that whole offshoot project, as I say, because it's not that entirely different, but it's just a difference in the output, and if you like the stuff, there's more of it, and hey.
Yeah, good one. Do you have any more there, Brett, that you want to mention?
So one solo project that just seemed to start with a bang was Björk. So she was in the Sugar Cubes, and I was a fan of Sugar Cubes. If you haven't listened to Sugar Cubes playing Birthday, it's just the most amazing vocal performance she does. So in '93, she
at 93. She waited long.
she waited, but in 19,
I do have a great story for you about that. One time I was watching breakfast TV in the UK back in the late 80s, and they'd put this song on, put the records up, put the cards up, and in the old days they'd be like, oh, and it's Susan from Dulwich, she's 63 today, and in the background there's Björk like, oh, as Brett says, it's the most incredible.
Yeah.
And it cuts back to the couch, and there's Anne Diamond and whoever the hell it was just sitting there like that. Okay, and that was the Sugar Cubes, and they obviously had never heard it.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, it was just like this beautiful moment
producers
of
booked it.
live TV. So we stick this on. It's the Sugar Cubes. It's birthday.
must
That's
be.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
Of course
Yeah.
it is, yeah.
wrong.
But yeah, so her debut album called Debut in 1993 was an absolute smash. They released 5 singles. All 5 singles charted on Billboard, and songs like Human Behaviour, Venus as a Boy, Violently Happy. Just amazing. It was almost like she burst into this solo career.
Yeah.
And
Never stopped.
and never stopped. No, she's one of those people who just continues to surprise you with everything from the sounds and the look and the directions.
Well, she's a modern Kate Bush in a lot of ways. Like just experiment. Like great songwriter. Great experimentation with different formats and.
If you ever get close to a human and human behavior, be ready to get confused. And me and my head after, there's definitely no logic to human behavior.
Did you do an entire album that was vocal sounds?
I think she did.
Yeah, there isn't a sound on it that wasn't produced by human voice.
Yeah, no, I
And
think she
you
did.
wouldn't know.
But it's that sort of thing where you're almost guaranteed on any of her albums to at least come across one track where you just sort of sit back and you go, I have never heard anything like that
it. Yeah.
before, because it's either got polyrhythms or where there's a rhythm going in the background that doesn't really match what she's singing, but it just seems somehow to hang together.
Fits in anyway.
But even her vocal gymnastics, just it's undeniably hard every time you hear it. But it's always new and it's always challenging, but still beautiful. Like, I don't know how she's managed to do that. But she started off in the Sugar Cubes when she was so young as well. She's kind of like Prodigy,
Was she? I don't know enough of the history of the Sugar Cubes. Was she writing at that point, or did she only start writing when she sort of went out?
She was just a singer in that band, and there was another main vocalist, a guy called Einar, and he was like allegedly a complete idiot. But she kind of stole the show. It really was just this. You had this vocalist as part of the Sugar Cubes. Are a great band, musically. So she just her voice was just like another instrument. So.
But it's also the amazing thing too of is it the because you sort of go, okay, you're from Iceland, small population, small country, but such an amazing, does that somehow, how does that contribute to the sound and the?
You're saying that people from small cold countries are just phenomenal in general.
Potentially.
What do they got? What else have they got to do?
and maybe that could be it. You're not sitting out in the sun all day,
enjoying themselves. Just sitting about being dreary. It's like you've got your own zombie bunker.
I like it.
Perfect.
Except real quickly we're outside.
Twice as scary as the zombie.
I'd throw
He's not even a zombie and he's eating somebody's brain. Get off me, you.
I'd throw in another act here, and that is from a band I don't think I've mentioned before, and that's Genesis. But again, not the two that you'd think of as going off and doing highly successful solo projects in Collins and Gabriel. This is Mike Rutherford.
Yes.
Went off to form Mike and the Mechanics. Of course, had some 80s hits.
There you go.
With what is it?
Had several hits.
All I Need Is a Miracle.
Yeah.
Is it All I Need Is a Miracle? And then in the very late 80s, early 90s,
Living Years?
Living Years, which is a huge hit.
Beautiful song.
Beautiful song. Yeah.
Damn.
Straight to the bunker.
God. I'm supposed to go and try and sleep now. had such a nice time talking about
Brilliant.
sugar cubes
Just
and all that.
such a talented guy, and that was his little side project, Michael Mechanics. So they had a few.
Yeah.
Paul Carrick, I think.
Say it
Saying
loud.
that. Yes.
Say it.
Brings tears to your eyes every time. Okay.
Say it with me. Say it loud.
Say it clearly.
Yeah.
You can wax sin as well as you hear.
You know the words.
Yeah.
Oh
Here you are, put the
God.
bird in. I think you're a closet
Oh.
fan. Let's open up Kev's closet. Hey, it's full of Genesis and Mike Rutherford.
Anyone who's ever had a father, that's a
Yes.
very,
Anyone
very
who's ever
emotional
had a
song.
father.
That's
Yeah,
right.
very emotional song.
Yeah, it was emotional for me when they didn't stop playing it for what felt like a decade. Oh my God. The only song that broke my heart more than that was that Scorpion song.
Oh,
was that,
what a great song.
Yes.
Gorky Park. Winds of Change. Yeah, Winds of Change. How good is that song?
Oh, good
Brilliant.
God.
song.
Yeah,
I'm going to throw one more in there,
One more in.
just because I want to play the song in the when I insert
Yes.
it later,
Yeah.
not to give away the magic of the podcast. And that is Temple of the Dog, and particularly the song Hunger Strike. So Temple of the Dog, made up of a couple of Seattle's biggest grunge artists at the time. I don't know, I can't recall the exact details of the story, but basically a band member from another band had died, and these guys got together. So you're talking about Chris Cornell, and basically all of Pearl Jam, essentially. Came together to create Temple of the Dog and released an album. And big song off it was called Hunger Strike, and brilliant song.
On the table, and the mouths are choking, but I'm going hungry. I don't mind stealing bread from the mouths of decadence, but I can't feed on the powerless when my cup's already overfilled. But it's on the table, the fire's cooking, and the farming babies of the slaves are out working. And it's on the table, the mouths are choking, but I'm going hungry. I'm going hungry.
Chris Cornell and Eddie Vedder trading like vocals on the song. I mean, it doesn't get better than that, So yeah, really
still
cool. No, and they're not still going up. I don't know if you checked the news in the last 5 years or so.
Yeah, good one. Yeah, we've lost all our Chris Cornell fans. Yeah, good
I'm
one.
sorry, I just couldn't.
but
It's just less vocal trading.
yeah, I mean, just so much talent
one-sided.
in one place at one time. Brilliant song.
Chris does a lot of the unsung songs.
Great. All right, and on that note, unfortunately,
On the unfortunate note.
we might leave it there.
Downer ending.
But again,
Sorry.
again, get onto the Facebook page. Tell us your favourite side projects and solo projects.
Or to register your complaints against
Or
Lord
register
Owl
complaints
and-
against Lord Owl.
Join the queue, motherfuckers.
That's right.
More of a mob.
Yeah, so thank you very much for joining us, and please, we'll see you again on the Lords of Loud. And don't forget to check out our website, lordsofloud.com, and also find us on Instagram and Facebook, both at Lords of Loud. Thanks for listening.